Well, I'm sitting in a car park in Irlam, just south of Manchester, or Salford, strictly speaking, in this new car that I bought off eBay a few days ago for 450 quid. It's an Audi 80. It's a bit of a wreck, but it's fucking great. I love it. I'm in this car park because my kids are riding the BMXs. I'll just turn the camera around so you can have a quick look. That's where they do their thing in the BMX park over there. Apparently it's a very good BMX park. What do I know? I mean, they tell me all about the you know, the angles, the transition, and the coping, and this lip, and this, oh, I don't know, this half pipe, and they know all about it. And of course, I know nothing about it. But that's quite interesting to hear all that. I try to get involved in some of that conversation, but it hasn't really come off terribly well so far. One of the things I was talking to Nick about, he was talking about flow. Because Nick used to write rap songs a couple of years ago. He was really into rap, and he used to go on the forums and write rap and all that kind of stuff. And when he was doing that, he used to call that flow. You know, when a certain kind of writing would be flow, he said. And I asked him a few days ago if this, because he used the term flow, again it was BMXing, and I said, is it the same thing? And he said, yeah, it's the same thing, kind of. And I said, oh yeah, I get that too. And I tried to tell him the times I get it, which is all times like, I don't know, reading or thinking about something. He really wasn't buying that at all. He couldn't believe that it could be anything like flow when you're doing some of those kind of pursuits. Anyway, I mean, it's an interesting place, Irlam. It's a very rough and ready little town, and there's a very strong motorcycle culture here in Irlam. There's a pub down the road here, I think it's called the Ship, where the Midlife Crisis Motorcycle Club meets. They've got a website, midlifecrisismc.org.uk, I think, something like that. Midlife Crisis Motorcycle Club, anyway. And then a bit further on from that is the local headquarters for the Manchester chapter of the Hells Angels. So again, that's an indicator that there's a bit of a motorcycle culture here. It's pretty funny actually seeing a shop front with, you know, those death's head, winged death's heads that you get on Hells Angels jackets. But that's what there is, and it says, you know, right across the top, just like any other shop, Hells Angels Manchester. Go figure. Anyhow, I've been thinking about Santa Claus actually. I wasn't going to talk about Irlam, I was going to talk about Santa Claus, because I made this video a couple of days ago about atheism, or about my atheism, and what I started thinking about that was about Santa Claus. Because when I was growing up, my mum, she never made any. Well, she was, yeah. We didn't believe in Santa, but Santa existed for us, me, my brother, and my sister. And you know, my mum never made any pretense that Santa was real. You know, we would see her fill our stockings, and we'd see her put the mince pie and the carrot out for Rudolph, and for Santa to have, and a little glass of sherry for Santa to have when he came down the chimney. We'd see her do all this, and we knew all the time. There was never any doubt that it was my old mum doing all this stuff, and we just kind of smiled at each other and we winked at each other about Santa Claus. It was all that kind of a relationship to it. We didn't spoil it at all. Actually, it was brilliant. I never had one of those moments of oh my God, Santa isn't real, because he never was real. It was just an important idea, or a really sweet idea, really. You know what I mean? It was just like putting a face on something. You know, like when you're a kid, everything's got a face on it. You know, cars have got faces on it. Toys, I mean, toy cars have got a face, and toy fire engines have got a face, and everything in your life when you're a child has got a face on it, usually smiling. And Santa was the same as that, really. It was just the idea of some kind of ritualized human generosity turned into a person with a face slapped on the front of it, really. You weren't supposed to believe in it. You're just supposed to. It was just like a placeholder for the idea. I really like that. I mean, it's I guess it's a similar kind of thing to the religious idea, which again, as I say, as I said in my previous video, I wasn't brought up with any kind of religion, but of course I knew who God was, and I knew who Jesus was, and they had a similar kind of status as Santa Claus. interesting ideas. You know, all the bad parts, of course, were cut out when I was a kid. You just only got good Jesus and good God. It was all those good bits with the face stuck on the front, really. And yeah, I wish my bloody kids had finished doing their thing over there. I'm bored to death in tears over here.